The world's coldest continent is also one of the most mysterious places on Earth. It's as unique as it is secretive, and unlike most destinations, you can't just hop off a commercial flight. Unless you're an elite scientist or an emperor penguin, exploring the Antarctic is forbidden. Even if you could, good luck overcoming frostbite-inducing temperatures of -130 degrees Fahrenheit or -90 degrees Celsius. But why is it restricted? And where did these rules come from? Grab your mittens and let's find out. Before the mid-1900s, we knew almost nothing about Antarctica. Then, an American Navy explorer by the name of Admiral Richard Byrd Jr. changed everything. Oh, and before you go asking Santa for presents, the Antarctic is actually at the South Pole. Antarctica equals south, Arctic equals north. Comprende? Anyway, what was Byrd's deal? Aside from enormous expanses of ice, endemic wildlife, and wintry conditions he'd never before seen, what else exactly did he find? While it's still shrouded in mystery, many think that Byrd came across an underground civilization called Agartha. Here, check it out. In 1957 and 58, a bunch of countries came together and were like, you know what, we love what this new research is showing and we need to protect Antarctica. So, the Antarctica Treaty was created. What does that mean exactly? Well, it means that smarty-pants scientists in lab coats can venture into the icy abyss for research purposes. For the rest of us, there are exceptions, of course. We can, for example, head to the Antarctic waters on a cruise ship. Can we set foot on the land as well? Technically, yes. There are a few landing spots along the peninsula, but compared to the entire continent's mass, it isn't even a sliver. The treaty also stated that no single nation could own Antarctica. It's divided up into partial ownership for these 7 countries. Here, check it out. So we know we're not allowed to wander around the frostbitten land of Antarctica, but why exactly is that? First and foremost, it's for the protection of the environment. It makes sense, too. The world's southern tip is a place overflowing with biodiversity. There's endemic species, underground mountains, yeah, you heard that right, blood-red waterfalls, and even gold-spewing volcanoes. But as much as we do want to keep our beloved environment thriving, we've also been banned for our own safety. Temperatures can drop to a whopping -130 degrees Fahrenheit, that's -90 Celsius. For most of us, protecting the environment and ourselves is the whole story. However, for a select few, it's believed that there's some rather shady stuff going on behind that ice wall. As you can see, it's completely visible on Google Maps satellite view, so if something shady was going on, it must be rather well hidden. Perhaps this giant alien face-like structure could be a sign of the unknown? We won't delve too deep into other theories, but they do include a supposed hidden fortress used in World War II, claims that an ancient civilization once lived down there, and of course the idea that it's the gateway to the end of the world because the world is flat. Yeah, right. Okay, so what would actually happen if we did try to visit Antarctica? If you break the rules, get ready to deal with fines of up to $10,000 US. And even a year behind bars for each rule that you break. There are a heap of rules to follow, but they mostly revolve around protecting native wildlife. But wait, since nobody technically governs the area, who's actually going to punish us? Well, it depends on where you're from. According to the Antarctic Treaty, anybody accused of a crime in Antarctica is subject to punishment by their own country. But what if you're just visiting as a tourist from a country that isn't part of the treaty? Well, in that case, usually the host nation of the ship or plane you arrived on takes the reins, and the captain or pilot of the ship could take full temporary control over you. Antarctica isn't only a restricted landmass, but also one of the largest forbidden airspaces on the planet. It's because of legislation that was introduced in the 80s under the Reagan administration. A law was created that stated no aircraft, regardless of where they are, is allowed to be more than 60 minutes from an airfield in case of an emergency. Since the infrastructure around the South Pole is next to none, we have to avoid it in the name of safety. Of course, that rule usually only affects commercial jets. Chartered jets can still come and go to bring staff to the research bases, which hovers around 3,000 in the summer and 400 in the winter. While it can become rather bleak and boring, there are still a few basic facilities on offer. At McMurdo Station, there's some coffee shops, a general store, a post office, and 2 solitary ATMs. Sadly, some who make it down there don't make it back. Over the years, many bodies have been discovered beneath the ice, and some are never discovered at all. In total, the number of fallen explorers is thought to be in the hundreds. That's all for why no one's allowed to explore the Antarctic.